We discuss the importance of breast and colon cancer awareness and prevention for Latinos, but we explore an opportunity for early college. It's all here on the next Latino Motion. Join us.
Choose to get lost in the woods to gain experience in forest management.
Choose to travel through time to understand the past.
Choose to soar to pursue a career in dance.
Stockton University offers 50 high-quality academic programs, small class sizes, and affordable tuition. Choose to match your interests and talents at one of New Jersey's nationally ranked universities.
Latino Motion with Bert Lopez is presented by Latino Motion Public Affairs Media, a New Jersey nonprofit corporation, and Stockton University. This edition of Latino Motion with Bert Lopez is brought to you by the HD Studios at the campus of Stockton University. Funding for Latino Motion is provided by AtlantiCare, a member of Geisinger, Atlantic City Electric, energy for a changing world, and South Jersey Gas.
Health disparities in the Hispanic community is a major concern for us here at Latino Motion and ALMA, an AtlantiCare Employee Resource Group. That is why we are partnering to present this health segment. Tu salud es importante para nosotros.
Welcome to Latino Motion, a weekly interview show highlighting issues impacting New Jersey's Latino community while advancing understanding of Latino cultural heritage and contributions to our society. And here is your host, Bert Lopez.
Buenos dias and welcome to Latino Motion. Hispanic men and women are 10% to 30% less likely to be diagnosed with prostate cancer or breast cancer. Bringing awareness to this issue are Dr. Val-Marie Ramos and Marcia McCulley. Welcome to Latino Motion.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Now, that seems to be a problem, right? When you have less diagnosis taking place, that means there isn't early detection. Why is that such a big problem?
Well, whenever we have this kind of information, we really need to understand what might be the causes, why the number of cancer cases in the Hispanic community are lower as compared to the non-Hispanic whites, which is usually what we're compared against. There are several factors about this, and one of the most important one is screening. Culturally speaking, Hispanics are very private about their health. They're also more open to the idea of talking about their issues, their personal issues, specifically health, with someone that might understand them culturally speaking. So they might be compliant with their primary care evaluations, but they might not mention a problem like, I felt a lump, or could you have this checked? Because in our culture, that's something that's private, that we don't usually talk about unless we feel comfortable with the person that we're talking about it.
And if you don't get that early detection, what does that mean in terms of being able to provide the necessary health care?
Well, early detection is key. I mean, that's our best information to treat cancer and to help folks. Better health come with those screenings. So it's really important for those folks to break down the barriers and to feel comfortable to come into our system to be tested.
Now, doctor, I understand that cancer is a leading cause, if not the leading cause of death among Hispanics. Is that so?
Unfortunately, it is. Up to 2015, between those years, the leading cause of death in the Western Hemisphere, in developed countries, was heart disease. Since 2016, the leading cause of death in the Hispanic community is cancer. For non-Hispanic whites, it continues to be heart disease. It is only in the Hispanic communities that now the number of patients dying of cancer has increased to the point that 1 out of 3 patients, Hispanic patients, is going to be diagnosed with cancer in their lifetime. Not only that, 1 out of 5 men and 1 out of 6 women will die of cancer in the Hispanic community.
That is very staggering, and obviously outreach to the Latino community is very important, and obviously you're the project manager for the oncology group at AtlantiCare. It's very important that we do the outreach to the Latino community, which is great that we have the first Latina oncologist that's now with AtlantiCare and puertorriqueña, ¿verdad?
Yes, sí.
So it's great that we have that. And what else is AtlantiCare doing as far as the outreach?
So AtlantiCare has several health fairs throughout the year. We go out into the community. We take our message to the community as opposed to having them come through our doors. We want them to feel comfortable. We work to break down barriers. Having Dr. Ramos on staff, we have several Spanish-speaking members of our staff, so it makes the Latino community feel more comfortable. But we just get out there on the street, we want to tell our message, and we want to invite folks in. We offer free screenings, we offer free mammograms year-round through our Susan G. Komen grant. So anything we can do to go to the community, we welcome community groups to come to us and ask us to come speak to them. We'll certainly take our message on the road and come right to the community. So wherever they're comfortable and whatever we have to do to break down barriers.
Dr. Ramos, you mentioned the fact that having that cultural bond. There you go. That's the right word. Is important. What do you tell those Latino patients out there that just been putting off seeing the doctor and getting their fears checked out?
So the most important issue here is that even though we are, just like you mentioned, less diagnosed, our incidence and our prevalence, which means new cases of cancer diagnosed during the year versus how many people are living with cancer right now, today. Supposedly, the Hispanic community has less incidence and prevalence. But I believe there is an issue of screening, like I mentioned. It is very important that we understand that screening saves lives. If you're going to have cancer, you're going to have cancer nevertheless. But it is different when you are able to be diagnosed with cancer at an early stage where it can be most likely cured, and the amount of treatment that we're going to provide to you is minimal, and you're going to live with a great quality of life, versus when you just stop listening to your body, essentially. Because most of the time, patients have been having the symptoms for a while, and they just put it off, like, oh, let's say it's gastritis, or it's just because I'm having my menstrual period, so this lump is because I have hormonal issues. And by the time we finally see them, their disease is so advanced that I believe that's in part the cause why Hispanic men and women die more than their counterparts, because of advanced disease that could have been prevented with screening.
Very critical. And we'll put up the contact information if someone wants to contact to get information or to set up a screening. Obviously, it's important that they do that. And it doesn't have to be AtlantiCare, right? As long as you go out and get the necessary screening. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to continue this discussion. We'll be right back with more Latino Motion.
Latino Motion with Bert Lopez is presented by Latino Motion Public Affairs Media, a New Jersey nonprofit corporation. Join us online at www.latinomotion.tv. Find us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. We encourage your comments and contributions for show topics.
Welcome back to Latino Motion. We'll continue to discuss breast and colon cancer awareness and prevention with Dr. Marie Ramos and Marcia McCauley with AtlantiCare. And one of the things that we want to talk about is prevention. And I'll ask you a direct question. Can cancer be prevented? It
can. Only about 20-ish% of cancers are known to be genetic. And that just means that our family members might have given us a predisposition to have cancer. About 60 to 70% we don't know, but there are lifestyle modifications that we can change the way we live in order to try and prevent certain cancers.
So there's risk factors involved, and can we talk about what some of those risk factors are?
Sure. Honestly, one of the first things would be smoking. If you smoke, you definitely need to stop. I mean, that's number one. And that we talk about that, some cancers are on the decline, but the ones that are on the rise are often the ones that deal with obesity. So obviously, your lifestyle changes. Lifestyle changes are important with your weight and how you're eating. Fruits and vegetables are important. Your lifestyle, your activities. Are you sitting on the couch? Or are you getting out and you enjoying the fresh air and enjoying the wonderful community we have? So all those things play factor in cancer.
And obviously for us Puerto Ricanos that we like ajo con gandules and pernil, we have to think about how we prepare those dishes.
We do. More than our pernil, red meats, high amounts of red meat ingestion, we know for a fact is a risk factor for colon cancer. And there is plenty of colon cancer not only in the world, but also in the Hispanic community. It is the 4th cause of death from cancer in the Hispanic community right now.
Wow, wow. Now, we beat to death the fact that early screening is necessary. I just want to bring out that there is a open house that you're holding. This is the 10th anniversary. You know, want to tell me a little bit about this open house?
I can say we're very excited to have been in the community for 10 years. I mean, we offered services prior to that in our hospital, but we're excited to be a community cancer center. We're hosting an open house on October 30th, and we welcome the community to come out to see what services we have, meet our fabulous doctors. Dr. Ramos will be there, but come out to see what prevention activities we have, what screening activities we have.
Now, lifestyle changes, obviously, that's something that we all got to get on board to be able, not only for cancer, but just living a healthy, long life. And we mentioned weight, which means the diet, and also being active is also another very important part of that.
It is very important to be physically active, to have, essentially to be healthy. Obviously, obesity is a risk factor for certain cancers, but a lot of people do have metabolic processes where they try hard to lose the weight and they cannot. That is also something that, you know, they should know that there is help, that there are different specialties, there are different physicians that will help with the weight loss, which we know is so detrimental and such a great risk factor.
No, in the Latino community, particularly for men, machismo, going to get those rectal exams. What do you tell men and why it's so important that they do that?
So you are absolutely right. Machismo is a really big deal in our Hispanic community. It is even worse when we're talking about people from South and Central America. I believe us Caribbean are a little bit more open to the idea of our screenings. We need to understand that going to an exam that might be embarrassing from our cultural standpoint, it's worth it if it's gonna have you be alive and in good health in the long run. So essentially, the end justifies the means. Screening saves lives. I cannot say this enough. We need to get over our manhood and go to the doctor and get screened.
And I've done it, so I know it's that it's an easy process. It's not painful at all. Let's talk about what the recommendations are for screening. So we'll start with breast cancer. How often should a woman get an exam?
Okay, so we follow the American Cancer Society guidelines, and we'll happily share these with any people that want to come into our building. But you should start for breast cancer at age 40 to 44 if you've had a history, and then at 45 thereafter. And you should speak to your doctor if you find a lump, if we should know what our body's telling us, and if we feel we have issues, we should speak to our doctors before
Is
then.
that
but
an
definitely,
annual exam?
Yes, it is annually. Yes.
How about for men? The rectal cancer. How often should the testing be done for that?
So colorectal screenings would start between 40 and 49 years old. But if you have a family history, you would start those earlier. Technically, it's usually, if your family member is diagnosed, you would start those screenings 10 years prior to the age they were diagnosed.
So very important that you get those health checks done, and obviously life-saving.
Yes.
And the message here, reduce those risk factors. Mm-hmm. Well, thank you, ladies, for sharing this vital information with our audience. I hope to see you on the 30th. And we'll hope that we have a good Latino representation there as well. We'll be right back with more Latino Motion. Welcome back to Latino Motion. The cost of college education is a barrier for many, and especially in the minority communities. However, there is a unique program that can help. Joining me is Dr. Jerome Taylor and Dr. Cesar Mickens with the George Washington Carver Education Foundation, to tell us more. Welcome, gentlemen, to Latino Motion.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, thank you.
So we're going to talk about early college programs. What is that?
The Early College Program is an opportunity for students to receive both their high school diploma and associate's degree while in high school before 12th grade.
So is it possible to do that in any high school, or is there specific high schools?
They can do that in any high school. So we typically try to work with underserved communities, but any school district can be a part of the Early College Program.
So this starts as a freshman, or is it earlier than that?
Presently, we're starting in the 9th grade. Our goal is really to get back to middle school with at least introducing them to college and career pathways. But right now, the programs that we are involved in are 9 through 12.
9 to 12. So what's the prerequisite? I mean, is you sign up for it? How does this work?
Well, the prerequisite is really school districts who are looking to impact their minority population. And so it starts with looking really at the whole school model, sort of like a school reform model, working with the K through 12 population. Again, as Dr. Mickens said, it's a 9 through 12 program, but we make sure that we back map skills like in math and science so that our kids are ready to pass college courses in high school.
You mentioned minority community. Why is it so important for the minority community to get that early start?
Yeah, if you look at New Jersey, for example, as we were talking about before we were taping, is that only one third of the students, minority and disadvantaged students in New Jersey are successful in the 3rd grade on the state exams. That means 2/3 aren't. So students that are going from the 3rd grade to 4th grade aren't ready. So part of our program is to accelerate learning. So our children are prepared to take advantage of the college courses when they do get to high school.
And we still don't see in significant numbers in terms of minority communities going on to college.
Absolutely. When we started our program, we started out with 50 students. We're now over 1,500 students. So clearly school districts in Atlantic County, Cumberland County, we're now in Mercer County, are really looking at how to impact those statistical numbers so that our students are successful. All students are successful.
Right. So ultimately, with the program that you're proposing or that you're doing now, what do you, when you graduate high school, what degree do you have?
So it's a plethora of different things. I mean, the whole idea is that students either are obtaining an associate's degree or credits towards an associate's degree so they can get a bachelor's or a career certificate. Every kid is not going to go to college, but some of them, will want to go directly into the workforce. So we build partnerships with businesses so that students are have internship opportunities and apprenticeship opportunities. We are working to partner with workforce development to do make sure that those certificates are available to our students.
And also we want to work with community-based organizations that have wraparound supports. Education school is in an ecosystem around the community. Sure. So unless we have some impact on the community to help support our children, then it's going to be slow going for us. So they need academic supports. They need other supports in terms of social, emotional, and the family needs supports. That's why we're looking at this. Although we're starting in school, we want a whole family approach.
Now, obviously, you've been doing this for a little while. Mm-hmm. Tell me about a success story.
So one great success story, we have the Bridgeton Public School System. They were our first community who, took the chance to really look at changing their design. We now have 102 students that are on the campus of Rowan College at South Jersey, and with most of them ready to graduate with an associate's degree. We'll have our first graduating class in 2021.
So how old are these kids that are now going to be graduating from college?
So right now they're in the 11th grade. They started 9th grade, so they came out of 8th grade excited and ready to go, and they'll be graduating next year.
So just so I get a little perspective on the program, these kids go to the high school and also are taking college courses at their high school or out of the high school? So
we have both designs. Mm-hmm. The particular program I just spoke about is on the campus of Rowan College of South Jersey, but we have schools who are in Atlantic County. We have Pleasantville School District. We have Buena Regional School District in Atlantic County, and both of their programs are within the building. And so it's the whole idea to start with a pilot program and then expand so that all students participate and graduate with at least 3 college credits before
And
high school.
we want the whole school. When you graduate from one of our programs,
Absolutely.
you should have college credit, whether it's an associate's degree or some college credit to enthuse them to keep going, right? That's our goal.
So if someone wants to get information, what should they do? Particularly if you have a parent, this sounds like a great idea for my child. How do they get that information?
So they can just call us directly at 1-855-IM-CARV, or they can email us at support@mycarver.org, or just go to our website, www.mycarver.org.
And school districts, if they are interested in this as well, they should just contact you directly.
Contact us directly, and then we will go in, do a needs assessment, and then begin to build their programs.
You mentioned Bridgeton. What other schools in the area you're involved in?
So we're at all of the high schools in Cumberland County. So Cumberland Regional High School, Vineland, Millville, the Tech Center there, again, Pleasantville, and Buena Regional, and then we just received a contract and began working in Trenton Public School System.
Well, certainly share this information. Thank you so much for sharing it right now with our audience. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have. Thank you for joining us once again here on Latino Motion.
Choose to get your feet wet, to learn more about protecting our environment.
Choose to read minds, to understand the human brain.
Choose to get your hands dirty, to create a masterpiece.
Stockton University offers 50 high-quality academic programs, small class sizes, and affordable tuition. Choose to match your interests and talents at one of New Jersey's nationally ranked universities.
Funding for Latino Motion is provided by AtlantiCare, a member of Geisinger. Atlantic City Electric, energy for a changing world. And South Jersey Gas.